is up, my fellow HHN obsessees, and welcome to the HHN Obsession Podcast, where we talk about all things HHN and obsess together over this amazing event. I am your host, JJ, and of course, with me, I have the always funny co-host, James.
It is I, James. And I say that so levelly because the last time I echoed in, Doppler effect, I woke my dad up on the car ride and he almost crapped his pants, really. He didn't know where he was. He whoa! Seriously, it was so loud. It was great. I mean, for him, he was a heart attack, but okay.
This was you listening back to the episode is what you're saying?
Yeah, I finished the one before that and it led into this one. And it was so loud, the speakers even shook a little.
All right, James, well, we're here because it's official. We have our first Horror Nights announcement. We have the dates and we have tickets.
Sweet.
I thought we'd jump on and talk about all the stuff, all the things that have popped up today. And at the end, we could talk about some rumors that we have yet to discuss that have happened between the last time we recorded. So stuff like that.
Let's do it.
So Halloween Horror Nights 33 is coming this year with a record-breaking amount of nights. 48 nights, to be exact. And for the first time ever, Halloween Horror Nights is starting in August. The first night of Halloween Horror Nights is August 30th this year. The event will run August 30th through November 3rd.
This is the first time they're touching August?
First time they have touched August.
Ooh.
So technically, the event is in 4 separate months. They always like to start Labor Day weekend, and I think that has to do with this. I believe that's when Labor Day weekend is this year. So they're starting there, and they're ending November 3rd, which is interesting because it's a Sunday. Previously, they haven't been ending on Sundays, so I thought it was interesting, especially last year. You remember, James, how slow it was last weekend, or last year on the last weekend. So I think they're taking a gamble that they're still...
Yeah, that's attributed to, I was just saying, people didn't expect that last day, right? It was unannounced or something, or added.
No, that basically that whole week we were there was slow, because we got there November 1st last year.
I thought I remembered a discrepancy with that last day. Was it not added late, or some people thought the day prior was the last actual day, but there was another day?
I think they might have added it later on. I think you might be right. And maybe that just didn't catch on. I don't know. But last year, Halloween was on a Tuesday, so it kind of makes sense how the rest of the week was slower. This year, Halloween's on a Thursday, so maybe that is going to help. And that's why they went ahead and just, did the entire weekend. All right, so check it out. So early this morning, this all dropped. People kind of discovered this on their own on social media. So basically, everybody discovered the tickets were on sale before they officially announced it, and they announced it, I believe, at 10 o'clock Florida time. They did announce those dates, and they also announced the tickets that are on sale. Now, these aren't the multi-night tickets. Those usually go on sale in July. There's always people that freak out. Oh, where's the multi-night tickets? Are they going to not have those this year? No, they always release those in the summertime. They're way later, but
you got to start.
It never fails. There's always people that are freaking out.
You got to respond to those and scare them. So yes, I'm sorry. It's not happening this year, and they'll believe you.
Yeah, I think people already do that to them. I think they're already suffering as it is. All right, so check it out. So we did get single night tickets, and they are starting at $82.99 per person for just the single night tickets. And if you want to add express to them, that is starting at $129.99 per person. I do think it's a slight jump from last year. It's not terrible, though. What did jump up a lot from what I noticed is the Rest in Peace tour. The RIP tour is also available to book right now, and that is the tour where a tour guide takes you through Halloween Horror Nights. You skip the entire line, and you go straight to the front to see the haunted house during Halloween Horror Nights. So these are starting at $359.99 a person. That is on top of your Halloween Horror Nights ticket. So you have to get the Horror Nights ticket to be inside the park, and then you have to pay $359.99, and that's just the starting price. It could go up on certain days. So it is a lot. And then there is also the behind the scenes Unmasking the Horror tour, which is the daytime tour. They have the 3 house and the 6 house tours, both available right now. And in previous years, the past couple years, they have been doing 3 different houses on the 3 house tour and then the other 6 houses on the other tour. And there's always one house that doesn't get to be seen. If you book a tour for the 3 house and book a tour for the 6 house, you are going to get to see 9 different houses. They're not going to be, you're not going to get like double houses in those.
Hmm.
So those tours are starting at $99.99 per person for the 3 house tour and $179.99 for the 6 house tour. And shout out to the Haunt Girls podcast, who actually discovered that this Unmasking the Horror tour actually went down in price since last year. Last year, the starting price for the 3 house tour was $129.99, I believe, and this year it is $99.99. We always welcome a decrease in price. That's always nice.
And Haunt Girls pointed that out.
Yes, Haunt Girls podcast discovered that and tweeted that.
Good looking out. Thanks, Haunt Girls.
All right, so here's the cool part that they have announced. This is a first. This is another first that is happening this year. This year, starting August 11th, you can book a 3 house tour before the event starts. There's going to be 2 whole weeks dedicated to those early preview tours. So those are available for purchase as well. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know why you would want to go see these houses before you get to see them live the way they're supposed to be seen. And also, I guarantee you the people that are going to go see those houses early on are going to, spoil things on social media or wherever the case.
Okay, so it's despicable spoiling, but what about, you think they're gonna judge it? You think they're gonna judge it early on before it has its day in the sun and then in the moon? I guess.
See, that's another thing. How, like, people will judge it just by going through it during the daytime with the lights on. I mean, that's not how the house is supposed to be seen. Hopefully they won't. Hopefully they're smart enough not to. But I think you're right. I think that is going to happen.
Like, if they're bad enough to spoil something, I think they're gonna be bad enough to judge it before it's properly, probably the same type of people.
Would you do this? Would you take a tour before you get to see the actual house during Horror Nights?
Uh, well, just to be clear, it's not the house. It's the lights on tour, right? The walkthrough.
Yes. Yes.
I don't think I would. No, I don't. Nah. You gotta go
It's
in.
such a weird thing.
Yeah. What do you get from that? Are you like trying to not be scared later, or what? Like, that's the only benefit I can see.
I guarantee you. I mean, this is a test that Universal's doing. It's absolutely a test. But I guarantee you, they're mostly doing this for the vloggers for free promotion, because they know vloggers are gonna go for this tour so they can make the content and put it out there before Horror Nights opens.
Yeah, chum the waters a little.
I mean, you're not allowed to take a camera in there, but they're allowed to take some pictures, and you can also, the vloggers can also talk about the experience that they had. How do you feel about the Unmasking the Horror tour in general? You've done it once back in 2018. What was it worth doing? What is your take on it?
Okay, hey, don't call me a sourpuss, Kate, but like, I'm not a fan of seeing how it works, like in the light. I mean, it's good for if you're into tidbits and like the what do you call it, the Easter eggs. It's good for that if you're a super fan. If you're me that wants to go in and get scared and enjoy it, and like, no offense, I'm not. I've said this before, and I'll put a official disclaimer. I'll write a note because I thought about this. I'm going to say, like, I apologize. I'm in a position to comment on these things that a lot of you can't. So, like, that sucks. But I just got to be honest. Like, I can't be inauthentic. So, for me, it doesn't appeal to me, the behind the scenes thing. Like, I could go without it.
No, I get that. I've done it twice. I did it for HHN28 and HHN30. I thought it was cool at first, but every time I did it, I realized that afterward, when I actually went to Horror Nights, it did ruin it. Now that I knew how everything worked and how all the gears turned for that specific house. So it just wasn't the same every time I did that tour. So keep that in mind, everybody. If you haven't done this Unmasking the Horror tour, it does kind of spoil how
You
everything
can't unsee it.
works in the house. Yeah, you can't unsee it. So that is a reason why I haven't done it since then.
They say that about art school and film school. Like, I went and learned animation, and it ruined every movie. You know, you judge everything. You become a critic.
That's the main reason why I haven't done it since 30. I'm not saying I'll never do it again, but I really think it has to be like a really good lineup of houses where like, okay, I want to see that house or those houses behind the scenes. Like,
Yeah,
I just have to.
yeah. In that case, you're going
Um,
specifically for the thing, and not just everything behind the scenes.
yeah. After 30, I just decided, you know what, it kind of ruins it a little bit. So I would rather just do the houses like they're normally intended to be done and then just enjoy the park during the day. We're already there a very low amount of days a year. We don't get to see it as many times as locals do. So
Hey, does that occur? Does that tour they still do that near the end of the event? Because that would be the time to do it. Is after everything, if you're gonna do it. I think.
it coincides with the event. So the last day of the event is the last day they do it.
Okay, well that could be worth it. I mean, if you don't want to be if you want to just be enjoying the thing and later like unwrap the
Well, that's the thing at HHN30. I actually, and I think HHN28, we did it on like the last day that we were there for horror night. So we did the tours and then we went and did horror nights that night. And that last run of horror nights was kind of ruined in a way because it
dang,
wasn't the
even
same.
though it was the last run, it was ruined. I thought maybe, you see the behind the scenes and then you go through it and appreciate, but still it takes away from the experience, because it's trying to do a thing and then this contradicts what it's trying to do because you know how it works.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's our take on the Unmasking the Horror tour. We're not saying that you wouldn't like it. It is very interesting, and the tour guides are amazing. They're very informative. I'm just kind of half and half. Do I recommend it or do I not recommend it? It's pretty much on you. If you're a huge fan of Horror Nights, it is a cool thing to see. Maybe do it once and see what you think of it. And if you don't like it, don't do it the following year. But you do learn a lot of things, and you get to learn, all the details that they put into these houses and how the houses function. So it is interesting. But just keep in mind the tours are about 3 hours for the 3 house tour and about 6 hours for the 6 house tour. So, visiting from out of town, it does take up a good chunk of your day whenever you're doing those tours. For the Unmasking the Horror tour, you do not have to have a park ticket to do those tours. You just buy the ticket for the Unmasking tour. But the RIP tour, that's the one you do have to have a Horror Nights ticket on top of your Rest in Peace tour ticket.
Yeah. So with all that in mind, like you can't, in good conscience, outwardly recommend it because it's more of a niche thing. It's like you're sacrificing some things and it's expensive. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like it's a more specific audience. Like it's a step up. You got to be obsessed.
Yeah, it's for true fans for sure. But these things do sell out pretty quickly. They sold out very fast last year. It was hard to get a spot on the tour. So if you do want to do it, be sure to get it early. I would recommend book something by July probably. But don't quote me on that. I'm not saying that there won't be anything after that, but be sure to try to book early because they did sell out pretty quickly last year. All right. So the next thing I want to talk about is whenever Horror Nights tweeted this announcement officially with the dates and the tickets, they also put a video, like a little teaser video. There is a little part of it that could be teasing something that's coming for the event, some kind of maybe icon or some kind of, house announcement. So at the very end of that video, there is this door that's boarded up. It looks pretty similar to something they've done before in teasers. Now, James, you probably don't know what this is, but in the past, Horror Nights has done this original idea called Shady Brook Asylum.
Okay.
They have used it in multiple haunted houses, even some scare zones, and this is where I believe Jack and Eddie were locked up there for a while. I think when they were kids, maybe I can't really remember the backstory. I apologize. I still have a lot to learn about the lore of HHN, but this is something that they've used a lot. So this could be hinting at some kind of Shady Brook Asylum coming back. It kind of looks Asylum esque in the video, but that's what I get from it.
Is there any type of period associated with that asylum? Like, is that set in any type of like specific era?
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. Because the whole Jack and Oddfellow thing was a certain era,
Yeah.
which I can't think of on the top of my head. So yeah, I do wonder when this took place too. But I'm not saying that's what it is. I don't think it has anything to do with Jack. Just because I just mentioned Jack, I don't think it has anything to do with that. It might just be some kind of Shady Brook Asylum connection, maybe.
Yeah, I just asked
Um,
because if you notice the filter, it's like it's all vertical lines. It's like that VHS or 80s type of filter. So I don't know if that would indicate some kind of like time period.
this is what I was getting at before. Back at HHN30, their marketing, their teaser videos were staticky, like surveillance videos like this, but it was Jack.
Mm.
And it was Jack in a certain environment that looked very similar to this. Again, I don't think they'd bring back Jack this soon. Would I welcome it? Sure. Would people cry about it? Probably. A lot of people are tired of Jack for obvious reasons. He comes back a lot. Again, I don't think Jack's coming, but I would love to see a Shady Brook Asylum house or theme or something, because we have yet to see anything like that. So, but here's something that's very interesting, James. In the post, they put fear cannot be contained.
Is it in the door?
First of all, is this the tagline for this year?
Uh,
No more never go alone stuff that they used the past 3 or 4 years. Is this the new tagline, fear cannot be contained? Or is this just referring to this video? Another thing I want to mention, fear was an icon at
mhm.
HHN20. And at the time, the story was fear controlled all the icons, all of HHN's history. But that was kind of erased a little bit with Oddfellow last year, because apparently Oddfellow was the one that created all things Halloween Horror Nights. But could they be referring to Fear coming back and being an icon? Or is this Universal or the Horror Nights page just, putting that word in so it like sparks everybody's attention and people start talking about, oh, Fear's coming back?
They're deceptive, man. They're trolls. It's fun. They keep the year fun. They keep it alive.
What's interesting is fear cannot be contained is because fear kept all the previous icons before him trapped inside a lantern, so contained within a lantern. Is this referring to fear cannot be contained himself?
Like a genie?
All the Horror Night icons were like genies in a lantern, yes.
I mean, are they not? Where are they keeping them? Pokeballs?
Wait, you were there for HHN30. You saw the icons house, HHN icons. That was
Yeah.
walking through the lantern.
Oh, literally, huh?
But I just wanted to point that out. It's very interesting. I wonder, or I should say, I guarantee you we're going to get more teases with this kind of surveillance-y footage, staticky images. I think there will be a continuing story with these. So we'll just see what happens next. So far, I'm really liking where this year is going, and we can definitely talk about that with what we're going to talk about next, the next topic here, and that is the merchandise drop that they dropped today along with this announcement. So now available at the park, at the Five and Dime, I believe in the All Hallows Eve store in Islands of Adventure. They have 3 items that are for Halloween Horror Nights. And I am absolutely loving the look, the theme. They have a shirt, they have a cap, and they have like a thermos cup. I don't know what to call that, but
Tumblr?
I think it looks cool. I can already tell that the fan base is divided with this. There is a lot of people that hate the look, a lot of people that are loving the look. So the shirt itself is like an orange color, and the logo and the artwork looks very 90s punk to me. Maybe even early 2000s like punk emo band type thing. Maybe some of you will know what I'm talking about. There was this tour recently called the We Were Young Tour, the We Were Young Festival, that had
Yeah,
all the bands from like the 2000s. And that's what this looks like. It looks like that kind of artwork. It looks like early Hot Topic artwork. I can kind of dig, a 90s, maybe early 2000s theme for Horror Nights. They've done 80s before. Why not try to go for something like 90s punk era, you know?
is that separate from the slogan, or is that incorporated? Is it gonna be like mixed with the merch and the style? You know.
That's a good point. There is another slogan on this merch. So this could be the official one.
Hmm.
So on the merch, on the shirt, on the cap, and on the mug, the slogan is "Where Horror Lives." Is that the new slogan for this year? Is it the other one that was posted on the post? Maybe it's both. I don't know, but I'm actually pretty glad to not see "Never Go Alone." "Never Go Alone" kind of became a joke the past few years. It's
Overused or what?
it's also a very weird slogan. Like, why would Horror Nights advertise people to go alone and not bring a whole bunch of people to pay more money? It's very weird.
Yeah, it felt like a personal attack because I kind of go alone every time. Never go alone. Like, okay, excuse you. People can go alone if they want.
But man, are you seeing this artwork? I mean, like, look at these caps. Look at the
Oh yeah, I
the
see the drips,
mugs.
the spray can drips. Yeah,
Like, if this is the look they're going for this year, like if this is going to be what most of the merch looks like, I'm all for it. Like, there's people that are not going to like it. I love it.
reminds me of Spring Breakers style. You know, all the advertisement and promotion.
Yeah, I think somebody mentioned that actually. That it kind of
Oh
looked
really?
like that. For whatever reason, they haven't really been going with the year number anymore. They haven't been going with the anniversary year anymore. They've been going with the actual year number. So there's 2024 right in the
What?
middle of the Halloween Horror Nights logo.
Hold on, they're not. Are they switching from doing the 30s and all that to the
They
year number?
they go back and forth with social media. They'll still hashtag
Yeah.
HHN33. When you actually go to the event, on all the buildings projected, they'll put HHN33.
Hmm.
But a lot of the marketing, as far as like shirts go, just like the teasers, they don't put that for whatever reason. They'll put the year.
Hmm.
There's a
All
lot of
right.
things that the Universal marketing does that I don't agree with, and I think a lot of people don't agree with. There's a lot of weird things they do, but
I mean, I kind of get they're trying to appeal to the masses, but
yeah.
I mean, a shirt's a shirt. You go there and you know nothing. You're not going to care about the year. I mean, maybe the year, but put the year then. If you don't put 24, put 2024 somewhere. Put HHN
You see this post.
33. Oh yeah, I see that. Green Day style.
Anyway, man, this merch is freaking dope. I love it. It gets me excited for what is coming to the event this year. I'm all for it. I purchased every single thing. I ordered it online, and I'll be eagerly waiting for it to show up to the house.
Yeah, the trucker hat. I like how it's soft. It has the mesh. Looks breathable. That shirt looks. Well, when I first saw it, it looks gaudy. You know, if I'm using my fashion terminology, a little in your face, a little loud, obnoxious, but that is intentional. So maybe that's what they're going for. You know, punk is not quiet. So the hat I'll rock. I can't rock a tumbler. It always tumbles away from me.
So that's pretty much it for all the announcement for today. Unfortunately, we didn't get a house announcement with all this, but there was a lot of rumors that Ghostbusters was going to be, or is going to be a house this year, and that would be announced with the movie. But I didn't think about how in previous years we haven't really got a house announcement with the ticket and date announcement. So since that hadn't happened yet, I had kind of figured, oh well, then we're probably not going to get a house announcement. The only time that happened in recent years was HHN30 in 2021. They announced the dates, the tickets with the Beetlejuice house. But that was probably because there hadn't been HHN for over a year because of 2020. that is the reason we didn't get a house announcement this time, because usually we don't get one with the dates and the tickets. Were you going to say something, James?
No, it's just those were specific circumstances. I mean, it's possible it could set a precedent because they did it for the first time, but no, that was just a weird pileup of scheduling.
Yeah, and they just probably wanted to get something out at that point just because people were waiting for so long.
Yeah.
Also, they're dealing with Epic Universe announcements. They're going to be doing one a month or so to kind of reveal everything that's happening at that park. They're doing that. They have the DreamWorks land coming that they're going to have to open and announce. They're having a brand new parade that's going to start. They have a brand new lagoon show that's going to start. So there's a lot of these announcements they're trying to balance. So I think announcements are going to be a little different this year. Now, however, this person on Discord, his name is Pinhead. He's an insider.
Not a
He gets
pinsider.
some insight. He gets some inside information. He said on Discord that he's hearing that the first house announcement will be mid-May. Everyone should probably expect that to be true, mainly because it sounds right. Somebody made a chart of all the previous years' announcements, and if you look at every year, it's kind of about there. There was a couple of years where we did get house announcements in March and April, but that was when we got ticket announcements in like February. So because we got this in April, everything gets pushed a little bit. So may make sense. What it's going to be, I don't know. I really, really hope that it's Nightmare on Elm Street. I really want that house so much. Ghostbusters, sure, whatever, but please be Nightmare on Elm Street. That's all I want. Um, I did see Frozen Empire twice, actually. I'm a huge Ghostbusters fan. I love the movie. It was nowhere near as good as Afterlife, unfortunately. I thought Afterlife was a perfect sequel to Ghostbusters. I still enjoyed Frozen Empire, but it just wasn't the same. Some of the writing was just weird and off,
Hmm.
and I think the cast was too big. They underutilized a lot of the cast. Now, however, I do think that Frozen Empire will make for a great house
Oh
just
yeah.
because of the Frozen scenic. From what I'm seeing, there's just like these rumors going back and forth. Oh, it's going to be the OG movies. Oh, it's going to actually be the Frozen Empire house. So there's all these rumors going back and forth, different people saying different things. So I don't think anybody actually knows what's coming, but I personally hope it's Frozen Empire that's going to be a house if there is a Ghostbusters house coming.
How so it would balance the iciness and the ghost creatures or ice creatures. Have there been icy houses in the past? There have to have been, right? The Yeti.
Yeti Terror of the Yukon was in the snow.
Oh, yeah, man. I'm picturing icicles.
And actually one of the Shady Brook houses took place in the wintertime. Have you ever seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
I have
Not
not.
like the show. There's these characters in like this episode from season 4 that was very popular. For whatever reason, Universal was able to get those characters and put them into original houses.
That's weird.
Oh, the Gentlemen. They were called the Gentlemen in Buffy, but I believe they were called something else at Horror Nights. But they were the exact same character, but they were able to use them in these original houses, and they took over Shady Brook. It was a certain franchise of houses that started way back in the day, and they kind of mixed it with another franchise of Shady Brook, and it made this really cool house at HHN25. Those I would love to see. If we get an original house with the Gentleman coming back, whew, that would be amazing.
That's weird. I mean, my instinct says I don't see that happening, but I don't see it happening to begin with, and then it happened. So what can I say? The gentleman, huh? And they're independent of Buffy. I mean, I know they're from Buffy, but
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. So the franchise of the haunted houses was called the Body Collectors. Yeah, I totally forgot that was the name that Horror Nights gave them. So they were the Body Collectors, but they were the gentlemen from Buffy.
and Shady Brook is a Universal thing.
Yes, it is an original idea.
That's so weird that they would mash up two. Like that's a spin-off original, and then here's their original. They're like soft crossovering with Buffy. It's like the Buffy lore and
Sort
the
of. But without
Universal
even
lore.
saying that it's from Buffy. They don't ever acknowledge Buffy.
Well, unless those guys are universe hopping, then we got some crossover with these lores.
Mhm.
The Universal lore and the Buffy lore are related. Confirmed.
All right, so again, we can expect our first house announcement in May. So just be on the lookout for that announcement, and we will definitely be putting out an episode whenever that happens. So
That's the official forecast.
that is the official forecast.
Hey, you should start giving these in front of like a weatherman screen. All this news, I'd watch it.
All right, so let's talk about some rumors that have been going around since the last time we recorded. First of all, Five Nights at Freddy's. I have heard that once again being a possibility again. I'm not saying it is, but Legacy has said that it's not coming. However, last year he said that Stranger Things wasn't coming, and he completely was surprised whenever it showed up. So they were very, very secretive about Stranger Things last year. They kept it so hush hush that insiders didn't even know about it. Like, they were for sure it wasn't coming. Could this be the same situation? Could there may have been just a small leak that Five Nights at Freddy's was coming, and then all of a sudden Universal is trying to push that away and keep quiet. A lot of times when these things get leaked, the property backs out of the contract because they're not supposed to know until the official announcement is released. So sometimes they're just trying to save their butts, basically. So there is still a possibility that Five Nights at Freddy's could be coming. And remember, on the speculation map, there is one of them that says unknown IP.
Maybe
What
Freddy
do you think?
backtracked, right? He changed his mind. He jumped back in. Freddy, listen, I already dismissed you for dismissing Universal as an opportunity. You can make so much money, and I think anyone who makes a franchise has a business mind, right? They should be smart. If this is a big ol' ruse like the whole time, and the rumor when the creator was out, if that's like misdirection, then props. Good on you. I'll change my tune. I'll be a Freddy fan. But it sounds just like he's a dummy that said no. But this is giving me hope, I guess.
There is still a little bit of hope. Now, here's something else I want to add to it that was, I believe, was posted today on Reddit by Pinhead, the same insider. He actually said it's unlikely for a house at this point, but it is possible in another capacity.
Another photo up.
Scare Zone?
Nah, they'll just recycle the cardboards they used for the photo up last year. That's the opportunity they're talking about.
See, I don't think he would mention that. I don't think he'd be talking about that. Again, there's a possibility for a house. There's still these weird random rumors going around with that. But then there's another insider saying it's unlikely for a house at this point. But again, Stranger Things snuck up on them last year.
Maybe they're still in negotiations. Is that possible? Maybe they were in and
I
out.
don't think so. I think they
It would
would
be
know by
finalized.
now. I think so. Another very random, all of a sudden rumor that started to go around. Check this out. Insidious.
Hmm.
So there was a recent film called Insidious: The Red Door that came out last year, I believe. So maybe this is a house based off that, or this could just be another Blumhouse Volume 4, and half the house is Insidious and half is something else. People have just been seeing the Insidious stuff, for the Blumhouse house, so they assume Insidious is coming. Personally, I would welcome Insidious to Horror Nights. We never got to see the standalone Insidious house at HHN 25. We did see the little section that it had in the first edition of Blumhouse, and that was my favorite part of that house. I think Insidious is a great, jump scare IP that they could use for a house. It's very creepy, and I think it would do well, and I would love to see it.
Yeah, I'd much prefer a dedicated house. Focus on one thing. Don't be chopping it up to two or three mini houses, unless you can pull it off. But stop it.
So another weird, random rumor was The Weeknd is creating music for a Scare Zone this year. I don't know how that rumor would pop up. The only way I can think of is if it's an actual thing happening. Like, where does that come from?
Do you think his prior connection would have let him gig with Universal?
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's a big fan of Halloween Horror Nights, and I'm sure he had a great time with the haunted house that he had at both coasts, and I think he also did one in Singapore the following year. He's collaborated with Horror Nights plenty of times. Although HHN31 was my least favorite year, the weekend was my favorite house that year. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was very different. It was the house that people were just talking so much crap about before they even saw it. And I think it surprised a lot of people, and it just showed what Universal could do with a musical artist. I thought it worked. I thought it was fun. It was gory. It was a party atmosphere. It was fantastic. So if they were to bring that energy into a scare zone with original music by the weekend, sure, do it.
Are you bummed that we missed out on a Billy house, the Billie Eilish horror house? You know, we're past that, right? That's not gonna.
I think we talked about this on the podcast. I am absolutely bummed that we didn't get the Billie Eilish house, especially after seeing the Weekend House and what they could do with the artists, with like musical artists. I think Billie Eilish could have been amazing, and there was way more hate and negative comments toward that house, and it didn't even happen. People were like, "Oh, this doesn't belong at Halloween Horror Nights."
Uh,
it it would have been top notch, and people will probably tell us, oh, how do you even know it was even coming? It was absolutely coming. I There was images of props from the house being sold. The shirt that originally had the Billie Eilish house on it leaked. I actually have that saved somewhere on my phone. So the house lineup that was supposed to be for 2020 was on the shirt, and it clearly had the Billie Eilish haunted house. It was an actual thing that was supposed to be there, but it was her final like hurrah with her like horror
yeah,
image. I guess all her music videos were had a lot of horror themes and scary themes, and I think her, what do you call, agent or record producers didn't want her to be that image anymore. They want her to go more mainstream and go away from the horror. So that was going to be her last like hurrah.
yeah. She
But
reversed child starred, right? Instead of getting more edgy, she like softened up.
yeah, so unfortunately, that is why we never got that house in 2021. So, yes, I am very bummed that we did not get that. It's a shame. It really is.
I don't know. This weekend stuff got me skeptical. He could just be helping him out, doing some tunes.
There's just so many random rumors this year. This speculation season is just so weird so far. I guess we're going to see how accurate all this stuff was once we start getting closer. I have a feeling a lot of it's going to be wrong, but we'll see. All right, so the last rumor that I want to discuss is the skull, the black and white skull that was on the speculation map. I would
Right.
just want to say, if you listen back to the episode, you nailed it, man. Because at first, when I saw this, I did not know what it was going to be. I think the only thing I had mentioned was it's a black and white skull. Could it be a black and white house? And then you immediately said, "Oh, they've done that with the whole tribute store last year." If this is actually coming to the event, that could be actually what's happening, because I actually found out that that skull is from the comic book that was sold in the tribute store last year.
There you go. Yeah,
It is the exact same logo,
it's like the
and
Comics Authority stamp.
the actual tribute store was based off of this comic. So basically, you walk through all the rooms. Each room was its own story, and then you could pick up the actual comic at the end of the tribute store. So I did grab one. I'm glad I did, because if this is becoming a haunted house this year, it's going to be really cool to look through this. Now, are they going to be doing a haunted house based off just one of the stories that are in this comic? Because one of the stories is in black and white, but not the whole comic is black and white. So could it be based off of the case files idea with Boris Schuster? Because Horror Night Nightmares put the black and white skull, does that mean that they're going more for the Boris Schuster idea with Legendary Truth and the case files type of house or type of sequel? Or are they just going to straight up make the tribute to terror comic book haunted house?
Yeah, that rainy noir type.
So the noir thing is only one of the stories in this. It's not
Yeah.
all.
So is it gaining traction or what? Why is it growing legs? Any public acknowledgement to the
Lots
Schuster?
of people are talking about it. That the connection to the skull was the tribute store last year and this comic book. So, um, as far as like confirmation, no, there hasn't been a whole lot with this. But
Hey, you heard it here first. I called it Black and White Skull.
in this comic, since there's four different stories, there is like a Tales from the Crypt Keeper type of character in this comic book that kind of introduces the stories. His name is the Curator. In the back of the comic, there is 2 pages full of basically fake fans that wrote little messages for this comic book. And one of them says, when is the next issue coming out? I am very excited to see what happens next in the False Idol story. You said it was part one, so does that mean we have a part two, right? And then check this out. Another one says, I am writing to tell you that the curator is an icon and legend, and we need more of him in these stories.
Oh, wait a minute.
Curator is HHN33's icon? Huh?
Is this curator? He wrote the book or no?
No, he's like the host. He's like the one that introduces the stories.
Okay,
Kind of like the Crypt Keeper.
interesting. Yeah, he'd be a neat host. Um, those creature merch, has that been like denied or confirmed? The creature from the Black Lagoon.
So they were selling shirts, but that display is now gone. And I'm not saying that they're not selling those shirts elsewhere, but apparently there has been Creature from the Black Lagoon merch there always. But the fact that they put, or not always, they bring it back and forth. But
Yeah,
the fact that they put that 33 little tag on one of the mannequins, they spray painted the 24, on the barrel. Is
yeah.
that hinting at some kind of creature from the Black Lagoon, Universal Monsters house? I mean, that is by far the most wanted Universal monster, and
I don't know if they were April Fooling.
I think they could have been, but I would really love for Creature from the Black Lagoon to show up, but I doubt it is. There is a slight little rumor that I saw about the Universal Monsters house this year, how it's going to be more brides again, brides of whatever monsters are coming. So
They're gonna make up some new brides. The bride of the creature of the black from the Black Lagoon.
exactly.
That's cool. Miss Pac-Man over here. Just put a bow tie on her. I'm not against
So
that.
I did save this post that Parkscope Joe posted on the forums. He said that everything he's heard about possible IP houses this year are Nightmare on Elm Street, Ghostbusters, and then he included Universal Monsters Creature Drac female swap return.
What? Drac female swap.
I'm pretty sure he's just referring to the Bride of Frankenstein house where it was the Bride of Frankenstein and Bride of Dracula's.
Definitely not a Mrs. Creature of the Black Lagoon though.
I don't know how Creature from Black Lagoon and Dracula would go together, but it would be fun if Universal would come up with a cool idea with it. I'm sure they could come up with something interesting, but would I
Dang.
love to see that? Would I love to see that? Yes, I would.
I mean, you know what I want to see is what happens when Dracula bites the creature, and we got a vampire creature now.
What would I'm just picturing the weird sounds that would come out of the creature when he's like being bit, like
Or when he's feeding. I mean, he's probably just sucking frogs. Let's be honest. He's not gonna be hunting people too much. The slurping and the growling and gurgling. I mean, that's the only sounds he can do. He has gills. He can't really growl. He's gonna be gurgling.
All right. Well, that pretty much covers everything that we have to talk about today. We've covered all the announcements, all the recent rumors. It's a crazy speculation here so far, man. One thing I didn't mention was auditions have opened up for Halloween Horror Nights. So it's your time to shine, James. Go sign up for that.
Ooh.
Go sign up for that Monsturos Whistler character. Remember that?
Oh, like yeah. Yeah, that's the one I gotta apply for, the Whistler. Why would I screw myself like that? Hey, that got close.
Yeah, that
It was
sounded
close
kind of
there.
windy.
Hey! That's all I got, though.
But yes, auditions are in full swing. Things are happening, man. Things are happening. We are now less than 150 days away from Halloween Horror Nights 33 starting.
Shout out, y'all spookers. You scary actors. Good luck in the auditions.
Well, everybody, if you made it this far into the episode, I applaud you. Thank you very much for listening. Um, you know, if you listen, if you enjoy the podcast, please go to Apple Podcasts and give us a 5-star review. We would much appreciate that. The more reviews, the more, people will see us and listen to us. Go follow us on our social medias. We have Instagram, Twitter. We are also on Blue Sky, which is the original guys who made Twitter. They made a whole new Twitter called Blue Sky. We're on there. And I am also about to make an account on Threads. So go follow us on Threads. Follow us on YouTube Music. That is the new Google podcast. So you can go ahead and follow us there. We're on there now. And, just listen to us on everywhere podcasts are available on. We're pretty much there. So give us a follow, give us a like, subscribe, review, anything, please. It helps us out very much. But for now, we will catch you on the flippity flop.
See you in the flippity flop. See you in the hold on. See you in the flippity fog. Oh, I got there. All right, not bad.
You found it. Good job. So proud of you.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's kind of organic. Right. Forget about it.
Oh. All right, you win.
You're damn right. Just wait a while, giving you the hip at your face now. Wait a while, giving you the hip at your face now. Wait a while, giving you the hip at your face now. Wait a while, giving you the hip at your face now. Wait a while.
Hey everyone, just wanted to give a quick shout out to my good friend Zach Weber, who provided our intro and outro song, Heebie Jeebies. You can listen to the full version of Heebie Jeebies on iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, or anywhere where you listen to your favorite music. Thanks for listening.